Clinton Jaws, I watched Question Period today. I watched the whole thing so you guys don't have to. I'm going to show you the best part. It's getting silly, but I can't keep my eyes off of it. I've never seen this happen before. Poilievre asks a question to a man, and somebody else gets up. At one point, he asks again, and then a girl gets up. You don't even have to get up anymore to answer the questions. Not only do they not answer the question, the proper people don't even stand up anymore. But I can't, like I said, I can't stop watching. I can't take my eyes off of it. And Poilievre, he gets kind of heated here. Watch us.
April Fool's Day carbon tax hike of 23% will hit Nova Scotians especially hard. The Prime Minister's tax will cost $1,500 for the average Nova Scotia family, far more than they get back in rebates. That's why Nova Scotia's Assembly passed a unanimous motion with all three parties supporting it, calling for federal MPs from that province to vote with Conservatives to spike the hike. One of those MPs is from King's Hants, the chair of the Agriculture Committee, which has been studying the carbon tax pain for farmers. So the question is for the chair of the Agriculture Committee, will he vote with us to spike the hike?
Will he? Let's find out. This is what happens. Watch Poilievre over here. He's not happy. They mute it. I hate it when they do this, but they mute it. They're all freaking out. The Conservs are freaking out right now. Why? Because the guy that they asked the question to doesn't stand up. Somebody else does. Some dimwit. And he's going to answer it. Watch this. And we're not going to listen to what he has to say.
Order.
Ridiculous. Here he comes.
Actually applies. Families receive hundreds of dollars.
Well, that parliamentary censorship proves everything you need to know about this and everything else in this government.
Yeah.
I asked a question of the member for King's Hants, the chair of the Agriculture Committee, who's now studying the painful impacts of the carbon tax, and the front bench here shut him down, told him to sit down and shut up because they had a better mouthpiece for the PMO who would stand and speak in his stead. Mr. Speaker, the question is for the member for King's Hants, the chair of the Agriculture Committee. His committee studying how the carbon tax hurts farmers. Will he vote to spike the hike?
Now he'll stand up, right? He'll stand up, right? It's question period.
The Honourable Minister for Housing, Infrastructure and Communities.
Speaker, if the Honourable Member has qualms with the member for King's Hants, I can reassure him he is a champion for his community. He launched a petition recently to stand up to the Conservative government in Nova Scotia.
So Poilievre, well, what does he do?
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
He's absolutely right. It is a joke, an April Fool's joke, and the joke is on Canadian taxpayers. He says that the member for King's Hants is a champion who can't even speak, who's silenced by his own MPs. Will the member...
Order. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition has 10 seconds left on the clock.
10 seconds.
Will the censored champion break his silence and tell us, will he vote for his constituents to spike the hike, or will he rip them off on April Fool's Day?
What's he going to say?
The Honourable Minister for Housing, Infrastructure and Communities.
Speaker, the Conservatives want to peddle false information to trick Canadians into
It's
voting
not over.
for them.
Come on, PP.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the question was for the silent member from King's Hants. I asked him specifically to stand and answer, but he's been shut down and shut up by his masters in the PMO. So once again, will the chair of the Agriculture Committee and member for King's Hants stand in today and tell us whether he will vote to spike the hike or raise the tax?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And the Leader of the Opposition knows full well the rules of this place and knows full well that members on this side are proud.
Let's just go back to Pierre.
The Honourable Government House Leader to please have order in this House. The Honourable. Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the people of King's Hants, Nova Scotia, are learning they don't have a voice in Parliament because he has been silenced. The Prime Minister is terrified that he might stand up and get off script. He knows. So will the member for King's Hants, who's the chair of the Agriculture Committee, stand up for farmers in his riding and vote with us to spike the hike? Yes or no?
And guess who stands up, guys? A girl. The biggest dork in this house. Squeaky.
Mr. Speaker, the member for King's Hants stands up for farmers.
And we don't care what she has to say. It's not over.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the member for King's Hants is in the Witness Protection Program today. He can't possibly stand up when his whip waves for him to sit down, which is exactly what happened a moment ago when I asked him a legitimate question as chair of the Agriculture Committee, a committee that's studying the devastating impact of the carbon tax on farmers in his riding and across the country. So for a sixth time, will he come out of the Witness Protection Program and announce whether he will vote for our motion to spike the hike?
Yeah. The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
No, he won't, because she's getting back up. I don't know. I wanted to show it to you. I've never seen it before. It's getting goofy. Becoming a clown show. It's called Question Period, but they're not even answering the question. I can't keep my eyes off of it.
Mr. Speaker. What's that?